Everyone. In our daily lives, we encounter various smells. There are pleasant ones, like the aroma of delicious food, or the scent of perfume worn by beautiful women. On the other hand, there are also unpleasant smells we sometimes come across. The same was true in the Middle Ages. In 1858, London was engulfed in the worst stench in its history. The smell was so overwhelming that it went beyond causing nausea and even induced headaches. Why did the entire city of London end up suffocating in such a dreadful stench? Behind this lay a way of thinking different from modern perspectives, and something deeply ingrained in the lives of the people of London at the time. So, let us take a journey together. We're heading to the year 1858, to witness the great stink that plagued London. So, where exactly did the source of the terrible stench in London at the time come from? The answer lies in the Thames River, a great river that flows through the city. The Thames River is the longest river in England, originating in the Cotswolds, passing through central London, and eventually reaching the North Sea. From the Paleolithic era, it supported the lives of various peoples, and when the Roman Empire arrived, they settled near the present-day London Bridge, recognizing it as the perfect location to build a port. They established a town called Londinium, which eventually became what we now know as London. In other words, the foundation of the City of London owes its existence to the Thames River. The Thames River has shaped countless aspects of London's history for over 2,000 years. From the days of Londinium to the present, and it continues to do so today. Between 1485 and 1703, the Thames River saw its most glorious period, loved by numerous kings and queens. With palaces being built along its banks, many people lived near the river, and the city thrived, brimming with vibrancy and activity. However, as more people came to live along the river, a significant problem began to emerge: garbage and industrial waste. Naturally, the amount of wastewater and human waste also reached staggering levels. At the time, the method of disposing of household and industrial waste was astonishing. Everything was dumped into the Thames River. Household waste, factory wastewater, and even human waste, all of it was indiscriminately thrown into the Thames River. But as one might expect, such practices inevitably led to the Thames River becoming polluted and emitting a foul stench. By the 17th century, the severity of the pollution in the Thames was gradually recognized by more and more people. Yet, shockingly, despite being aware of the contamination, people continued to dump waste into the Thames River for nearly 2 centuries. Why, despite knowing about the pollution, did the people of the time not stop disposing of garbage in the river? This was due to a certain way of thinking that is incomprehensible to modern people. While not everyone thought this way, there was a belief at the time that anything dumped into the Thames would eventually flow out to sea, and that the pollution of the water was the responsibility of the water god Poseidon, polluting the water themselves and then leaving the rest to the gods. So convenient, right? Perhaps Poseidon himself grew angry at being treated so unfairly? The pollution in the Thames showed no signs of improvement. On the contrary, due to the strong tidal flows, polluted water constantly flowed back upriver, and the waste stagnated, worsening the situation even further. Simply saying, "It's dirty," might have sufficed. But the situation grew far more dire. Unbelievably, while people were dumping human waste and industrial effluents into the Thames, they were also using the river as a source of drinking water in their daily lives. The sheer filth would make such behavior unimaginable for modern people. Of course, the people of the time were human just like us. And naturally, many of them fell ill. One of the diseases that became rampant during this period was the infamous cholera. The years 1832, 1849, and 1854 are particularly known as major cholera outbreak years, resulting in many deaths. As if the already dire state of the Thames wasn't enough, another nightmare befell the river: the Great Stink, which I mentioned at the beginning. What exactly happened? In the summer of 1858, London experienced record-breaking heat. On June 16, 1858, the temperature in London reached approximately 34.7 C, making it one of the hottest summers in history. As a result, the water levels of the Thames River dropped significantly, exposing decades' worth of decayed sewage to the scorching sunlight. This caused the Thames River to emit an even more unbearable stench, so intense that people several kilometers away reportedly vomited because of it. Faced with this condition of the Thames, people gradually began to take action. For example, in 1855, the scientist Michael Faraday published an open letter in the Times, openly criticizing the government for allowing the Thames to become so filthy. A major turning point came in December 1861, when Prince Albert passed away from typhoid fever caused by contaminated drains. This tragedy finally prompted members of Parliament to take action and begin efforts to clean up the Thames. With this, the cholera outbreaks would stop as well. At least that's what we modern people might think. However, the people of that time didn't believe that cleaning up the Thames would stop cholera. Why? Because back then, the pollution of the Thames and the outbreaks of cholera were considered separate issues. During the Victorian era, the dominant belief was the miasma theory, which held that the cause of diseases like cholera was not contaminated water or bacteria, but rather foul air, or miasma. As a result, while it was believed that cleaning up the Thames would eliminate the foul smell, people thought cholera was caused by bad air, and therefore unrelated to the river's pollution. However, amidst all this, there was one man who questioned the widely accepted miasma theory. His name was Dr. John Snow. He would later be called the father of epidemiology for his groundbreaking work. Dr. Snow was also an obstetrician and anesthesiologist, and is considered a pioneer of painless childbirth. Driven by a desire to help those suffering from diseases like cholera, Dr. Snow conducted extensive research. His ideas were entirely different from the widely believed miasma theory of the time. Dr. Snow hypothesized that sewage near rivers and wells was contaminating the water and causing the rapid spread of diseases. Additionally, based on the observation that cholera affected the intestines rather than the lungs, He deduced that the cause was not the air but rather food or drink. Building on this theory, Dr. Snow published a pamphlet in August 1849 titled On the Mode of Communication of Cholera. In the publication, Dr. Snow clearly linked the consumption of contaminated water from the Thames River to the spread of cholera. However, most doctors and scientists of the time were firmly attached to the miasma theory and dismissed Dr. Snow's ideas as incorrect. In August 1854, a cholera outbreak swept through the Soho district of London. Despite being a small area with a radius of just 250 meters, over 500 cases of cholera were recorded in just 10 days. As it happens, Dr. Snow lived near Soho, which allowed him to quickly begin proving that contaminated water was the cause. Dr. Snow spent 24 hours collecting information from hospitals and public records, examining the onset of cholera symptoms in patients, and whether they had consumed water drawn from a shared well pump. He then mapped out where the cholera patients had contracted the disease and created documentation, identifying the pump as the source of the outbreak. Additionally, he gathered supporting testimonies to strengthen his case. For example, inmates in a nearby prison had very few cases of cholera. It was discovered that the prison used water purchased from a water company rather than relying on contaminated water. Similarly, none of the workers at a nearby brewery contracted cholera. When Dr. Snow spoke to the brewery owner, he learned that the workers drank only the beer produced at the brewery or water from a private well, avoiding contaminated water altogether. These findings confirmed a connection between the cholera cases and contaminated water. When Dr. Snow collected a water sample from the suspect pump for analysis, he found white particles floating in it, which he identified as the likely source of the infection. Dr. Snow then persuaded local officials to remove the handle of the pump to prevent water from being drawn. When the pump handle was removed, cholera cases stopped overnight. Dr. Snow continued tracking all cholera cases, but he passed away at the young age of 45 before his work could be definitively proven. His research was later validated by Dr. Edwin Lancaster, who formed a committee to investigate the cholera outbreak, ultimately leading to the containment of the disease. Dr. Snow's findings prompted the City of London to overhaul its water infrastructure. Between 1860 and 1875, major construction projects were carried out, which resolved both the cholera outbreaks and the foul odors of London. Dr. Snow's work not only led to significant improvements in London's water and sewage systems, but also marked the first application of statistical analysis to epidemiology and public health. Today, a memorial pump stands on Broadwick Street in London to honor Dr. Snow's achievements, and a pub named John Snow commemorates his legacy. The history of the world remains shrouded in mystery. Let us continue our journey together to explore the secrets of world history. Until our next adventure, see you again soon. Thank you for watching.